Hello folks, and welcome back to Marvelous Videos, where today we have a special treat for Mortal Kombat fans. We're going to explore the complete life and exploits of the dreaded General Shao, or Shao Kahn. So let's not waste any more time yapping and dive right in.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means an awful lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
I know you can feel it. It is the end of all.
Rise to power! We don't know exactly what race Shao Kahn comes from, or anything about his childhood really. The first we hear of him is in the court of the Dragon King Onaga, who was the invincible ruler of Outworld. Onaga was skilled in necromancy and raised his soldiers whenever they died in battle, so his army was virtually undefeatable. Onaga laid all his trust in his advisors, one of whom was Shao Kahn. Kahn, however, poisoned Onaga and took over the throne of Outworld. Kahn was no less malevolent or ambitious than his predecessor and began to conquer other realms and worlds. As Emperor, he also drained out Outworld's vegetation energy, which turned it into a barren wasteland. Through brute force, or the Mortal Kombat tournaments created by the Elder Gods, Kahn went on adding realms to his rule. Rules of the tournament were simple. The best of Kahn's warriors would take on the best of the realm's warriors. The winning warrior would be gifted immortality so that they could keep fighting for their realm till they lost. If Shao Kahn won 10 tournaments in a row, he gained permission to invade the realm, and if the realm won 10 times in a row, Kahn would leave. The conquest of Edenia. One of the 6 main realms, Edenia was a fertile kingdom ruled by King Jared. Edenians were direct descendants of the gods and had a long lifespan and a slowed aging process. After Kahn's warriors defeated Jared's men in Mortal Kombat, Kahn invaded Edenia. He killed King Jared and forced his wife, Queen Sindel, to marry him. Sindel obviously didn't want to wed her husband's murderer and refused, but Kahn forced the marriage and adopted her infant daughter and heir apparent, Princess Kitana. This proved too much for Sindel, and she decided to take her life, choosing death over life with Kahn. Kahn refused to let her leave, even in death, as he trapped her soul in Outworld, using his skills in dark magic, making sure she never transitioned to the afterlife. Shao Kahn brought up Kitana, who was still a baby, and made her believe that he was her real father. He hid the reality and the brutal truth of her family from her, and manipulated her innocent feelings and adoration for him. He had Kitana trained to be his personal assassin and bodyguard.
Come, let us be a family.
A monstrous daughter. Around 9,000 years after Shao Kahn claimed the Edenian realm, he grew worried that Kitana would one day find out about her history and parentage and turn against him. He asked his sorcerer, Shang Tsung, to create a clone of Kitana so that she could be replaced with the clone whenever she betrays him. Shang took her DNA and mixed it with a Tarkatan and created Kahn's monstrous daughter, Mileena. Mileena looked exactly like Kitana except for her sharp Tarkatan teeth, which she usually covered with a mask. Mileena was introduced to Kitana as her twin sister, and instead of his original plan, Kahn decided to employ Mileena as a spy. Mileena was instructed to keep a close eye on her kind-hearted twin sister and told to report any changes in her loyalty to Kahn. Mileena was trained alongside Kitana and her good friend Jade, who was also an Edenian patriot. Kitana turned out to be smarter than her adoptive father though, and she did find out the truth about her past, but didn't let anyone know and pretended to be loyal while trying to find the perfect time to attack. Invasion of the Earthrealm. Years after the Edenian conquest, Kahn set his sights on Earthrealm and sent one of his most powerful subjects, Shang Tsung, the soul-stealing sorcerer and shapeshifter, to prepare it for his invasion. Shang had at his side the Shogun Prince Goro, who also happened to be one of his most gifted students. Under Shang's supervision, Mortal Kombat began, and Prince Goro defeated Earthrealm's champion, the great Kung Lao, who had previously defeated Shang and had made the mistake of sparing his life. Goro started a 500-year-long streak of winning and won 9 tournaments in a row. When the 10th tournament came about, Goro was challenged and defeated by Liu Kang, a Shaolin monk. Shang challenged Liu next, but he too was no match for Liu Kang, and Kang became the new champion of Mortal Kombat. Irritated, Kahn decided to kill Shang, but Shang begged for his life, promising Kahn that he would come up with a plan that would help him take over Earthrealm. His plan was to conduct a new tournament in Outworld with all the champions of the Earthrealm and getting them killed. Shao Kahn was so pleased with his realm that not only did he spare Shang, he also restored his youth. He has Kano, Sonya Blade, and Johnny Cage kidnapped and sends Baraka and his Tarkatan army to get Liu Kang. Knowing that they didn't stand a chance against Kang, they destroy Shaolin temples and escape to Outworld as the enraged Kang would surely follow, and his plan works. Meanwhile, Katana realizes that this is the best moment to strike her father and begins helping the Earthrealm warriors. In Outworld, Shao Kahn, himself a previous champion, challenges Liu Kang, but despite his power, Kang bests him and, along with the rest of the inhabitants of Earthrealm, escapes to his home, where they are free from the clutches of Shao Kahn. Unfortunately, Kano and Sonya aren't able to escape and are imprisoned in Outworld. Meanwhile, Mileena finds out about Katana helping the Earthrealm warriors, but before she can let Kahn know, Katana kills her and her soul descends to the Netherrealm. Kahn finds out about Katana's treachery and imprisons her. But Shang Tsung isn't ready to give up yet because, let's be real, the day he stops coming up with plans to help Shao Kahn is the day he dies. His next plan is diabolical on so many levels. He resurrects Queen Sindel in Earthrealm, the same woman who tried to kill herself to escape Kahn. Kahn then enters Earthrealm claiming that he's only going to claim his beloved wife, but what he's actually doing is invading Earth by circumventing the decree of the Elder Gods and the Mortal Kombat tournament. Kahn's assault on the inhabitants of Earthrealm is brutal. He begins by stealing the souls of the inhabitants and after sends out extermination squads to kill every single person who escaped his magic. Lord Raiden, the god of thunder and protector of the Earthrealm, jumped into the realm's defense and saved the souls of some warriors who then had to face Kahn.
Among the saved warriors were Kung Lao and Liu Kang. Shao Kahn blasted away Kung Lao, which angered Liu Kang into attacking him. Kang once again defeated Shao Kahn, who was extremely worn out from the fight, and retreated with his forces to Outworld.
After his retreat, Earthrealm is set right once again. The brief decline of Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn is in for a shock when he heads back to Outworld because his dear darling daughter Katana has escaped and, with the help of her newly resurrected mother, Queen Sindel, has restored Edenia's former glory and declared it an independent realm. Many of his loyal soldiers have also abandoned him. Thankfully, during this time, Shinnok, the vengeful fallen elder god, began a war against the gods. This time was utilized by Shao Kahn to recuperate. Meanwhile, the Edenians made peace with the Shokuns and Centaurians and forged strong military ties with them. This news wasn't welcome to Kahn, as his allyship with the Shokuns was important for his reign. As they planned an attack on Kahn, he tried to figure out a way to strengthen his army. By this time, Kano had talked his way out of imprisonment and into the ranks of Kahn's army as the weapons instructor. Kano hatched a plan with Shiva, the Shokan bodyguard of Queen Sindel, during Kahn's failed invasion of Earthrealm to kill the weakened Kahn. But at the very last moment, Kano betrayed Shiva and won the trust of Kahn, who made him his new commander. To weaken the Shokan forces, Kahn sent his assassin, Noob Saibot, to kill the Shokan prince Goro. Although Saibot wasn't able to completely eliminate Goro, he critically injured him, which led to the Edenian forces accepting a stalemate in the war against Outworld. Shang Tsung schemes with the Netherrealm resident Quan Chi to kill Shao Kahn, and together they gain access to his throne room while feigning false loyalty. Shao Kahn senses this from a mile away and places his clone in the room, which is killed by Quan Chi and Shang Tsung. Still weakened, Shao Kahn approached Goro and used his waning strength to heal him, thus winning back the confidence and support of the Shokuns. Regaining control of Outworld. Mileena wasn't ready to accept defeat from her twin sisters so easily and had joined Shinnok, the ruler of Netherrealm, in attacking Edenia. Although Mileena gained an upper hand initially, Katana defeated her once again and locked her away in the Edenian prison. Dragon King Onaga had returned to life with the help of the last dragon egg and begun his attack on Edenia. Onaga freed and recruited Mileena to pose as Katana and mislead her army and control the Edenian forces. Using the Edenian army, Mileena conquered Outworld and laid siege to the fortress of Kahn. Backstabber Shang Tsung's lust for power and his distrust for Quan Chi had surfaced, causing a bitter feud between them, and the both of them were attacked by Dragon King Onaga, who wanted to snatch Shinnok's amulet from Quan Chi. In the ensuing fight, Shang died, and all his souls he had consumed were released. Shang's soul reached Kahn, who was hiding in Outworld while seeking an opportunity to gain back his fortress. As Shang had pledged his soul to Kahn, he now had to serve him in the afterlife. Kahn leads Shang and Goro to his fortress, and Mileena, terrified to face her father, hides in the throne room. But no door could ever hold back the brute force of Kahn, and he pushes through. Seeing him, Mileena gives up the fortress and pledges allegiance to him. Shao Kahn becomes the ruler of Outworld once more. The Battle of Armageddon. Blaze, the elemental being in Fire Spawn, reached his final form and awaited champions to defeat him on top of the Pyramid of Argus in the Southlands of Edenia. Whoever defeated Blaze would receive his godlike powers and their greatest wish would be granted. Liu Kang formed the Union of Light, consisting of gods and champions from Earthrealm to make sure the power of Blaze didn't fall into the wrong hands. Kahn convinced Shang Tsung, Onaga, Goro, and Quan Chi to form an alliance with him to defeat the Union of Light and headed to Edenia. The race to the top of the pyramid was arduous, and the only two remaining champions were Raiden and Kahn. Kahn was no longer weak and defeated Raiden, who, as a last-ditch effort, sent a message to his past self to prevent the events of Armageddon before passing away. Kahn defeated Blaze and became the ultimate winner of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but Shao Kahn had lost his only goal in life, and with nothing more to conquer, he slowly began to go insane. The Adventures of Shao Kahn in the DC Universe. Although the events of Mortal Kombat vs. DC don't blend easily into the original timeline and is technically considered non-canon, we see a brief adventure of Shao Kahn in the DC Universe. Kahn suffers yet another humiliating defeat at the hands of the champions from Earthrealm and retreats to a graveyard for some peace and quiet. Quan Chi finds him there and begins taunting him about his losses. He threatens the wrath of Shinnok on him, telling Kahn that there is no way that the fallen Elder God would appreciate his losses against inhabitants of Earthrealm. Shao Kahn, who was already fuming about his losses, isn't happy to hear Chi's taunts and asks him to shut up. Soon, Raiden arrives to chastise Kahn for his violation of the rules of the Mortal Kombat tournament and strikes him with lightning. Raiden informs Kahn that his army of Tarkatans were subdued by the forces of light and that many of his allies were deserting him. Quan Chi, not wanting to subject himself to Raiden's anger, creates a portal to escape. Kahn sees the portal and yells at Quan Chi for betraying him. He uses his Wrath Hammer to knock him aside, but is struck by Raiden's lightning once more. The strike pushes him into the portal, and the portal begins to destabilize and act up. Kahn demands an explanation from Raiden, but he and the portal vanish in a yellow light explosion. What had actually happened was that the lightning bolt had fused Kahn with the portal. Similarly, in the DC universe, Superman had knocked Darkseid into a boom tube and fused him with it. The two portals were connected, and Darkseid and Shao Kahn merged together to form Dark Kahn, with immense potential to destroy both universes. Dark Kahn merged both of the universes to increase chaos and bring about their demolition. The forces of both light and dark are driven mad with rage thanks to Dark Khan's combat rage, and they begin fighting against the superheroes and villains of the DC universe. In the end, only Shang Tsung, Raiden, and Liu Kang are left in the Mortal Kombat universe, while Batman, Superman, and Lex Luthor remain from the DC side of things. Sensing that his goal will soon be complete, Dark Khan heads to his tower, which is a merged combination of Shao Kahn's fortress and Darkseid's palace. Superman and Raiden, feeling guilty about creating this supervillain, snap away from Khan's influence and join forces to defeat the Dark Khan. They channel the rage against him and destroy Dark Khan, successfully freeing both the universes from their disastrous merging. Unfortunately for the villains, they switch universes. Darkseid is banished to the Netherrealm while Superman imprisons Shao Kahn in the Phantom Zone. Shao Kahn is weakened once more and rages against his imprisonment as he can do nothing to free himself. The alternate timeline. Raiden's dying message to his past self at the end of Armageddon shifts the timeline around a bit, resulting in an alternate timeline where Shao Kahn has a similar beginning but diverges after the death of Onaga. He betrays his general, Kotal Kahn, and sends him to be experimented on in Shang Tsung's flesh pits. Quan Chi and Shang Tsung enjoy more trust from Shao Kahn in this timeline. During Khan's attack on Edenia, Queen Sindel senses that she might lose her royal title if King Jared loses, so she betrays Jared and kills him while pledging allegiance to the new emperor Shao Kahn. Khan and Sindel marry, and though she willingly marries him in this timeline, she lies to Edenians and tells them that she was forced into it. Khan finds out about Princess Katana and decides to kill her, but overcome with motherly love, Sindel puts a stop to it, claiming that her daughter deserves to live. Eager to please his new wife, Shao Kahn adopts her, and she begins serving him as a loyal assassin, along with her good friend Jade. Khan's amorous and blissful married life with Sindel invites the ire of Quan Chi, who doesn't think Sindel is worthy of trust and blames her for distracting Khan from important matters. He sees her as a threat to the Netherrealm and its ruler Shinnok. He ends up secretly killing her, but stages it as a suicide and tells Khan that her suicide is an act of treachery. Further proof of her betrayal is presented to Khan in the form of the magical ward she created over Earthrealm to prevent Khan from invading it, but in reality, Quan Chi himself created it with the intention of bringing about the end of Shao Kahn.
You see, Raiden? Earthrealm is free!
The first attempt on Earthrealm. In the first Mortal Kombat tournament against Earthrealm, Shao Kahn monitors the fight against Shang Tsung and Liu Kang. Shang Tsung, similar to the original timeline, loses, and the irked Kahn prepares to kill him. Shang Tsung proposes a plan to conduct another tournament on Outworld with different rules. Kahn rejuvenates Tsung as he likes the plan. Before the start of the second tournament, Shao Kahn asks Katana to kill the Lin Kuei warriors who had breached Outworld. Meanwhile, Shao Kahn begins the tournament and even participates enlists in a few fights in the place of Shang Tsung. After his warrior, Scorpion, is defeated by Sub-Zero, the Lin Kuei appear and offer their loyalty and service to him in exchange for Sub-Zero, who they intend to experiment on. Though Kahn agrees, he's not pleased with the brazen interruption of the tournament and demands an explanation from Kitana as to why they weren't killed. Before Kitana could answer, she was rudely dismissed. Raiden and Liu Kang seized this opportunity to talk to her and sway her to the side of the Earthrealm warriors. Full of tumultuous thoughts and in conflict with herself, Kitana stumbles across Shang Tsung's flesh pits where she discovers her clone Mileena. She's horrified by the monstrous clone who wakes up and mockingly calls her sister. Kitana arrests Shang Tsung and takes him to Kahn, telling him about the ungodly experiments. To her surprise, Kahn reveals that he already knew about Mileena and tells Kitana about her past. Kahn, who had found out about Kitana's betrayal with Raiden, demands she be thrown in prison and Mileena take her place. Overhearing their conversation, Jade turns to the warriors of Earthrealm to help her rescue Kitana and kill Kahn. The tournament continues and Kung Lao begins a winning streak. After defeating Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, and Kintaro, Kung Lao begins celebrating his victory, which annoys Shao Kahn so much that he decides to kill him. Mortal Kombat rules be damned. Without waiting to start a fight, he snaps his neck. Liu Kang and Raiden are enraged by this, and Raiden tries to strike lightning at Kahn, but he counters by punching a hole through Raiden's chest, mortally wounding him.
No longer.
A direct invasion of Earthrealm. When the cat is gone, the mice will play. Assuming that the Khan is dead, his lieutenants begin discussing who among them should take over the throne of Outworld. They are silenced by the arrival of Shao Kahn, who has been healed with the powers of Quan Chi. Kahn directs his anger towards Tsung, scolding him for bungling up the only opportunity they had to take over Earthrealm. Quan Chi suggests that they directly invade Earthrealm and that he would resurrect Queen Sindel to remove the barrier she placed on Earthrealm. Shao Kahn agrees, and Quan binds Queen Sindel's mind to his will while bringing her back. In exchange for his service, Shao Kahn grants Quan Chi permission to take the souls of the warriors who die in the invasion. Kahn sends Motaro, the Centaurian, to begin the invasion. After Motaro is killed by Raiden, Queen Sindel raises to the occasion, promising to end what Motaro began. To make sure Sindel is unharmed in her mission, Kahn seizes and equips her with all the souls that Shang Tsung had ever consumed, and thereby causes his death. As Queen Sindel begins her attack, Cabal of the Black Dragon clan attacks Shao Kahn, but he isn't successful as Kahn's assassins Mileena and Noob Saibot intervene. Cabal is strong enough to take the both of them and charges towards Shao Kahn after defeating them. Kahn commands Quan Chi to close the portal to Earthrealm, but Cabal manages to sneak home just in time. Sindel is considerably successful in her conquest as she takes a bunch of warriors out. Nightwolf challenges her next and sacrifices himself to kill her as they are both vaporized in a pillar of light. As Kahn prepares to merge the Outworld with Earthrealm, Raiden begs the help of Quan Chi, who tells him about all the souls he now owns thanks to his benevolent emperor. This causes a flashbulb moment for Raiden as he realizes that if Shao Kahn is allowed to complete the merge, he will have insulted the decree of the Elder Gods and the rules of Mortal Kombat, and the Elder Gods would destroy him for this insolence. Raiden asks Liu Kang to stand down, but Kang attempts to stop the merger and attacks Shao Kahn. Raiden fights him to force him to back off. The fight is intense, and in order to defend himself from the strength of Liu Kang, Raiden summons a lightning bolt. Much to the horror of the Thunder God, this kills Liu Kang. Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage also try to stop Shao Kahn, but he easily incapacitates them. He approaches Raiden, who refuses to fight and surrenders. Shao Kahn is happier than a kid in a candy store and spends a gleeful time beating up Raiden till the Elder Gods arrive and bless Raiden with all their powers. Now that he has the approval of the Elder Gods, Raiden stands up to Shao Kahn and blasts him away with all of his newly acquired power. After he's sufficiently weakened, the gods take Shao Kahn away to decide his punishment, and Raiden, along with Sonya and Johnny, begin to rebuild Earthrealm. Quan Chi picks up the fallen helmet of Shao Kahn and converses with Shinnok, and we find out that Quan Chi was working with Shinnok all along, and all the events that have happened up until now were orchestrated by Shinnok to take over both Outworld and Earthrealm. In the next game, it's seen that Shao Kahn's soul was bound to Ermac the ninja. We can only assume that the Elder Gods delivered a swift and befitting punishment to the ambitious and cruel Emperor. Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat X, the comic book series. The comic book series Mortal Kombat X was published as a joint adventure between DC Comics and NetherRealm Studios. Since it's set after the events of the alternate timeline have passed, we only get to see Shao Kahn in flashbacks. We find out about Shao Kahn's invasion of the Osh-Tek, a violent warmongering realm, through the story of Kotal Kahn. Kotal's father, Kotal Ketz, was the ruler of the Osh-Tek, and after watching his people perish at the hands of Shao Kahn and his ally Goro, he surrendered, vowing fealty if Shao Kahn let him keep the Portal Stone, a relic which helped the user travel between realms by creating portals. Kahn agreed and merged Osh-Tek with Outworld. It's hard not to wonder if Kahn has ever heard of things like rest and leisure, as he keeps going from one conquest to the next. The next realm he decides to add to Outworld is the Arnyek Islands, home to the Kaitin, a race of humanoid insects who operate as a hive mind. With his general, Reiko, and the Shao Kahn prince, when Kahn arrives at the Arnyek Islands, all the Kaitin run away in fear, except for one female Kaitin. Kahn is impressed and asks her who she is, thinking that she's the queen. She introduces herself as Devora and calls herself the Khan's humble servant. Shao Kahn takes her into his military ranks and spares her the fate the rest of her people are about to meet. Even after the Arnyek Islands merge with Outworld, the Kaitin refuse to submit to Khan's rule and create a new hive on the outskirts of Outworld. Angered, Kahn sets the hive on fire and burned every Kaitin alive. Impressed with Reiko's fighting skills and the way he took lives for the Khan's name, Kahn adopted him. During the tournaments, after Reptile failed to meet Shao Kahn's expectations, he commanded Kotal Kahn to execute him. Kotal instead suggested taking command over Reptile. Though Shao Kahn wasn't super thrilled with the idea, he allowed it. After Kahn's death, a civil war broke out between Melina, Reiko, and Kotal Kahn to take over the rule of Outworld. We don't get any more updates about Shao Kahn in the comics, and we only see him next in Mortal Kombat 11. The Emperor is back! Kronika, the Keeper of Time and mother of Shinnok, is displeased with Raiden after he tries to kill Shinnok and begins manipulating the timeline to create a new era. This leads to the past clashing with the present, which in turn brings back many dead beings, including Shao Kahn and his Tarkatan chief Baraka. Kahn arrives at his arena and sees the execution of his Imperial debt collector and puts an end to it. Confused about the unfamiliar sights in the arena, Kahn demands an explanation and is shocked to find out that his former general, Kotal Kahn, has declared himself the Emperor after the death of his heir, Melina. Shao Kahn heads to the throne room and demands Kotal stand down, but the Osh-Tek refuses. Kahn, armed with his Wrath Hammer, charges at Kotal and a fierce battle begins. Kahn easily overpowers his former general, but before he can deliver the final blow, Raiden and Liu Kang arrive, as they too have been displaced due to the alterations to the timeline. They save Kotal and join the forces of Osh-Tek to take on Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn is not all alone in this battle, as there are still some soldiers loyal to him who come to his aid, but alas, they can hardly meet the strength of Kotal's supporters. Kotal has all the loyalists arrested with Shao Kahn and orders their execution. Before Kahn is executed, the Kaitin Devora arrives and rescues them, whisking them away to her hive. Still confused about his current state, he asks Devora to give him a detailed account of everything that has happened, and she tells him about his end at the hands of Raiden and the Elder Gods. She also admits that she was the one who killed his daughter Melina. Overcome with fatherly love and vengeance, Kahn moves to kill Devora, but is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Kronika. Kahn is surprised at this, as he always believed that Kronika was just a myth. Kronika tells Kahn that she intends to erase time and start a new era. If Kahn were to take back his throne and use the forces of Outworld to protect her while she carried out this plan, she would give him an empire even greater than Outworld. She also mentions that she would make sure Raiden didn't exist in the new era. Kahn readily agrees. What's not to like? The erasure of his mortal enemy from existence along with a bigger empire? Hell yeah. In preparation for taking back Outworld, he moves his followers and the Tarkatan horde to the wastelands of the realm and begins training.
And I will save you from his madness. Only I can rebuild the Empire. All realms will tremble before me.
The true Emperor rules again! The past Jade and Kotal Kahn begin plans to infiltrate Shao Kahn's military camp, but they get into an argument over Kotal's decision to execute Tarkatans based on the crime their future selves committed by siding with Melina in the Civil War. The only one who benefits from this fight is Shao Kahn, who imprisons them both. One of the people in his camp is Scarlet, another adopted daughter of Kahn, who Kahn had created using blood magic and the blood of many warriors. Scarlet was literally bloodthirsty and a valuable asset for Kahn, Kahn. He let Scarlet drink Jade's blood and declared a public execution of Kotal Kahn in the Colosseum. Shao Kahn rouses the crowds, telling them that the true ruler of Outworld is back and they shall be conquerors once again, and declares his victory over Kotal. Unfortunately for Shao Kahn, before he can carry out the execution, Kitana shows up with the forces of the Tarkatans and the Shokan. You have to give Kitana her due because she's a great diplomat as well as a warrior. Not only did she manage to sway Queen Shiva, the ruler of the Shokans, but she also managed to talk Baraka into helping her. Shao Kahn is angry at the gatecrashers, but he's happier to see that Kitana has become the warrior he always wanted her to be. He praises Kitana for her boldness and tells her that if she had always shown such potential, he wouldn't have had to create Mileena. We've heard of people suffering from daddy issues, but Shao Kahn has a special case of daughter issues. Jade frees Kotal Kahn and he faces Shao Kahn once again. Shao Kahn is obviously more powerful than Kotal and he breaks his spine within a few moments. Kitana stops him from killing Kotal and Shao Kahn sneers at her. He tells her that she should not have been saved on the day of the Edenian invasion and that she should have been killed along with her father. Kahn tells her that she owes her existence to Kahn's love for Sindel, and now that she isn't here, there's no one to stop him from killing Kitana. Kitana announces that Shao Kahn and Mileena are monsters and that she refuses to inherit the cruelty of Shao Kahn. To the shock of both the watching crowd and Shao Kahn, his adopted daughter defeats him and, using her fan blades, blinds him. With this, she finally avenges Edenia and her father.
Doesn't know when to quit. Let's finish.
In sickness and in health, to have and to hold. Shao Kahn is imprisoned underneath his arena where a couple of Shokans are appointed to finish him off, but the Shokans decided to take their time and have some fun with him and begin torturing him. Shao Kahn's wife, Sindel, ambushes the guards and kills them. It's shocking how different Sindel is from her daughter Kitana. Whether it's true love or yet another strategic move by Sindel is yet unknown, but Sindel takes Shao Kahn to the Soul Chamber where his eyes are healed and he gets back his strength. The power couple then decides to steal Kronika's hourglass, the powerful relic that lets her erase and remake timelines. To get that, they needed to intervene in the battle between Kronika and Raiden. They overthrow Cassie, Johnny, and Sonya from their ship and seize control of it. They dump the cargo to speed up and catch up to Kitana's ship, which also holds Kotal, Liu Kang, and Kung Lao. The couple systematically eliminates them one by one. First, they strike down Kotal, and then they defeat Kung Lao and throw him overboard. Liu Kang and Kitana face the couple together, and Sindel attacks her daughter while Shao Kahn assaults Liu Kang. Kahn crushes Liu Kang's legs while Sindel defeats Kitana. They arrive at Kronika's keep, where the hourglass is kept by Kronika, and Shao Kahn rallies the army of Outworld to join him. Shang Tsung, who has empowered himself with the temporal strength of Kronika's crown, joins Shao Kahn as well. Kitana and Kung Lao attempt to dissuade Kahn, Sindel, and Shang Tsung one last time with the help of Jade, but they bite the dust. While Kahn and Sindel celebrate, Shang Tsung mounts a surprise attack on them, telling Shao Kahn that he needs the hourglass. Is it really surprising given all the times Shang Tsung has switched sides? The trickster sorcerer offers them a new job as his minions in the new era. Shao Kahn as a minion? In your dreams, buddy. Shao Kahn and Sindel attack Shang Tsung, but they are no match for his new power, and finally, Tsung absorbs their souls to take on Kronika. New timeline. Who dis? Raiden, as a Hail Mary, merges his essence with Liu Kang, who bests the power-drunk Shang Tsung and gains hold of the hourglass. Thanks to Raiden's essence, Liu Kang becomes the god of fire. He begins restructuring the timeline once again so that peace remains constant across all realms. In this timeline, we get a sneak peek at Shao Kahn's childhood, where he was born as a weak child. His father looked after him and helped him improve physically. He began surviving Outworld as a loyal soldier and climbed the ranks to become the general under Empress Sindel. Sindel, in this timeline, marries Jared in an arranged marriage and gives birth to both Mileena and Kitana. Mileena is born with a Tarkatan infection that is cured by Shang Tsung, who was in cahoots with a mysterious woman who promised to make him a great sorcerer. General Shao becomes one of Sindel's champions in the Mortal Kombat tournaments and begins to harbor resentment against Liu Kang, Raiden, and other Earthrealm warriors after losing the tournament. He gets drunk and insults Raiden. Shang Tsung begins an alliance with General Shao as Shao lets him conduct his unholy experiments without attracting the attention of the Empress. He also befriends Quan Chi, another sorcerer who has also met the same mysterious woman who promised to help Shang. Quan Chi prophesizes that Liu Kang would take over Outworld and a conflict would arise between General Shao and the Empress. This further increases the distrust of Shao towards the fire god. General Shao tries to convince Kitana that the prophecy is proof enough that they immediately need to attack the Earthrealm, but much to his chagrin, Kitana disagrees. Armageddon. Here we go again. General Shao gets a chance to realize his dreams when Earthrealm warriors arrive on Outworld, and seeing Shang Tsung inject Mileena, assumes that he's actually infecting her with the Tarkatan virus. A fight breaks out and General Shao subdues the Earthrealmers. General Shao joins hands with Natara, Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, Rain, and Reiko, and together they usurp the throne. Liu Kang reveals to Sindel and her daughters that he is the Keeper of Time, but it is unfortunately too late, as Shao Kahn has the Amulet of Shinnok, a powerful talisman which should not have been in Shao Kahn's hands in this timeline. Liu Kang is now certain that someone is messing with the timeline. Meanwhile, Kahn traps Mileena, Katana, and two of Sindel's loyal followers, Garrus and Tanya, in the amulet. Liu Kang gathers up his forces and, with the help of Sindel, releases the trapped princesses and has Shao and Reiko arrested. Unfortunately, that's not enough to stop Armageddon from approaching, and a second battle takes place with different timeline versions of General Shao participating from both sides. One of the versions that came out of this interdimensional fight was Dark Sindel, who killed Sindel. Sindel named Mileena her successor, and Mileena avenged her. Shang Tsung, in his Titan form, leads the forces of darkness along with Quan Chi, also a Titan. Liu Kang has had enough of these two sorcerers and erases them from the timeline, causing it to collapse. The Titans are imprisoned along with Shao and Reiko, but you can never really hold down Shao Kahn, and he escapes this prison along with his co-conspirators. General Shao tries once again to gain control of Outworld by attacking the new Empress Mileena. Meanwhile, Liu Kang faces a new interdimensional foe, the Titan form of Havoc, who's aided by the Chaos form of Shao Kahn. But Liu Kang gets help from different time versions of champions, and a version of Rain defeats the Chaos Kahn. Shao Kahn and his conquest of Hollywood. The 1997 film Mortal Kombat Annihilation, directed by John R. Leonetti, is set in the original timeline using Shao Kahn's final attempt to annex Earthrealm using the resurrection of Queen Sindel as an excuse for breaching the realm. Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and Liu Kang face Shao Kahn, played by Brian Thompson. Johnny, who flies by the seat of his pants, runs in without proper planning, and Shao snaps his neck like a twig. The others retreat and begin planning to take him down. Raiden approaches the Elder Gods for help. Sonya enlists the help of her Special Forces partner Jax, while Liu Kang pairs up with Kahn's adopted daughter to look for Nightwolf. Nightwolf teaches Liu Kang Animality, a special form of shapeshifting that helps you with your strength. Meanwhile, Raiden gives up his immortality to fight alongside the Earthrealm warriors. Raiden reveals that both he and Shao Kahn are brothers and share the same father, Shinnok, the fallen Elder God. He asks the Earthrealm warriors to help him free Katana and reunite her with Sindel so that Sindel's soul is rescued and the portal to Earthrealm from Outworld can be closed. The warriors rescue Katana, but Sindel is still under the thumb of Kahn. Shinnok commands Raiden to return to his brother and submit to Shinnok's orders so that their broken family can be restored. But Raiden realizes the cruelty of his brother and father and refuses to join hands with them. As punishment for his insolence towards their father, Shao Kahn kills him. Katana defeats her mother while Jax and Sonya face off against Motaro and Ermac. Liu Kang, now with the power of Animality in his arsenal, challenges Shao Kahn. During their fight, Kahn gets a cut from which he bleeds. This proves to everybody that Kahn is no longer immortal, as he had broken the holy rules of Mortal Kombat. Shinnok tries to intervene on behalf of his son, but the Elder Gods stop him and condemn him to the Netherrealm. Kahn is defeated by Liu Kang, and his hold over Sindel breaks, leaving Sindel to reunite with her daughter. As the Earthrealm warriors head home, the Elder Gods revive Raiden and give him his father's position as an Elder God. Raiden accepts and asks the Earthrealm warriors to always have each other's backs. After getting extremely negative reviews, the sequel to this movie was cancelled, and Shao Kahn's attempt to take over the silver screens failed. But it looks like Shao Kahn might be getting another chance soon. The 2021 Mortal Kombat movie became HBO Max's most successful film launch with a box office take of over $84 million. A sequel is now in the works, and reports have confirmed that the English bodybuilder Martin Ford is set to star as Shao Kahn. The movie will be released on October 24th, 2025, and we can't wait to see what new adventures Shao Kahn will have on the silver screen. Marvelous verdict. Narcissistic, megalomaniac, stubborn, cruel, and incredibly powerful. These are the words we think define Shao Kahn the best. Whatever timeline he's in, it seems like he'll always be cursed with dysfunctional families, untrustworthy henchmen, and unfathomable greed. Which storyline of Shao Kahn do you like the best? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.